all prices. Much has been made that Snow Chief, for example, was by a $2,000 stallion out in California. They do come much higher. For example, last July at the Keeneland Pavilion down the road in Lexington, Kentucky, one yearling, a horse who has never had a human being in his back, untested in every way, went for $13,100,000. He's the son of Nijinsky II out of My Charmer, who also was the dam of Seattle Slew. Ironically, Seattle Slew himself was sold as a yearling for $17,500. Here is Snow Chief himself, now second favorite in the betting. They still don't want to believe him, despite 5 in a row. He's quite a story, however, and here it is. They call them the Sunshine Boys, two septuagenarians who took their mare to a stallion who stands for what sounds like a senior citizen's discount, $2,000, and came up with the favorite for the Kentucky Derby. Carl Grinstead's a retired engineer, Ben Rochelle, an old song and dance man who likes the Sunshine Boys label.
If I'm going to be compared with George Burns and Walter Matthau, that's to me is flattery. I can't hide the fact that I'm an old guy. What the hell is the use of kidding yourself? You're when you get to be 75-year-old, period. And a lot of guys don't even get there. I've had a fun life, really. Show business.
Ben and his wife, Jane Beebe, toured for 25 years in show business, including this 1944 Roy Rogers Quickie. Ben says the Kentucky Derby is great, but nothing can replace that quarter of a century on the road.
This is akin to show business, right? Horse business. Boy, he looks mighty good, doesn't he, Carl?
Oh, fine.
They're performers, just like we were when we were on the stage. We were performers, too. And we happen to have one hell of a performer. Snow Chief, right?
Snow Chief, the kid from the other side of the tracks, isn't too much to look at. One unkind critic said he looks like a New York City policeman's horse. But he's rich now, a self-made horse, if you will, the youngest equine millionaire of all time. A year ago, no one could have foreseen it. Because he was sent by the owners to the minor leagues for his early training, to the dusty backstretch at Agua Caliente in Mexico. Fortunately, he was in the hands of a very good judge of horseflesh, Wilfredo Martinez.
It's very difficult. I don't think I can get another. If I probably die and born again, I don't think I get another Snow Chief.
Well, he won't have to die and be born again, as he said. Snow Chief may be enough. From Mexico, he went to the glamour of Southern California.
This is one we want. We went this when we're headed for Louisville.
His rider, Alex Solis, came from the famous jockey school in Panama. As for owner Grinstead, who had serious surgery a year and a half ago, he feels that Snow Chief has renewed his love of life.
It is sort of a Cinderella story, that's one expression. Or the poor boy makes good, or we're from the wrong side of the tracks. He's done more for me and something to live for in this year and a half. And he's only been running, that was a year and a half ago, and he's been the greatest medication I've had than anything I ever took out of a bottle, including liquor.
Just before the Santa Anita Derby, we saw Carl riding the escalator toward his box, but somewhere on the way he got lost. That happens at racetracks, but when your horse is in a race like that? So co-owner Rochelle and Grinstead's wife Pearl had to carry the burden of rooting Snow Chief home. It really was no burden for Ben. Mr. Show Business was more than up to the task. What does it feel like to have your horse take the lead in a big race? It feels like this.
Come on, baby! Come on there, Snow! Come on, baby! Come on, baby! Come on, Snow Chief! Come on, baby! Come on, baby! Come on, baby!
Look at all those people. Everybody's your friend when you have the favorite in the Derby, even the New York Times.
New York Times, please. Da-da, da-da, da-da. Yep.
Afterwards, in the director's room, the twinkling 75-year-old toes of Ben Rochelle were tripping the light fantastic as Carl Grinstead poured the bubbly. Light begins at 40. Heck, 40's just a preview if you hang in there. Light's being 75 and owning the favorite in the run for the roses. And who knows, maybe dancing in the winner's circle at Churchill now.